Welcome back, sports fans, and thanks for watching Thursday Night with 912 Sports on a Monday. We take this opportunity to thank some sponsors of 912 Sports. We'd like to thank Coastal Pines Technical College, Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty, Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, Prime South Bank, and Gibson Animal Clinic. And joining us now is the head coach of the Wayne County Yellow Jackets, Coach Justin McDonald. Coach, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. Appreciate you guys having me.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you being on here with us. And I tell you, it's been a really weird year. Coach, going back to last year about this time, we all were deep into the season. I think everybody probably played 10 or 12 games, and all of a sudden things got shut down, and we got to go home, and everybody said, well, we'll go home for a couple of weeks, and we'll come back and start playing. Well, a year later, we actually do get a chance to play baseball, but kind of talk a little bit about your guys' COVID protocols and the things that y'all are doing different this year than you had to do in the past.
Oh, it was kind of unique in the beginning of the year. Obviously, we wanted to do everything we could as the coaching staff and as players to make sure that we can play as long as possible. And, I think it's kind of, they did an outstanding job. I know we dressed in shifts, kind of had Group A, Group B. Each kid had an individual little box of disinfectant stuff in their locker. We fogged the locker room every day. And, that's just some of the small stuff. We're pretty strict on the mask. I wear it during games, during practice. All of our kids wear it. Every time we come into a close group or a kind of a meeting, they make sure they're kind of spread out. And we encourage, where we recommend and require them to pull the mask up. So nobody can say that we're not doing it the right way, because at any given day, as we talk every game, they can come in and say, hey, or we can have a contact trace or something, and then a guy be out for 2 weeks. And, we don't want that to happen, especially if we can do things to try to eliminate that and decrease those chances.
Yeah, and that's, listen, it's bad enough to try to, keep from contacting the disease, but then you get set down from contact tracing. And I know, football dealt with that, basketball dealt with that. And I tell you, I was kind of worried, Coach, when basketball hit. We had all these, cases. It seemed like the number to spike. But, with basketball, you're inside, you're in a gym. Once we got to spring, everybody comes back outside. So I kind of felt like we might get we might get a little bit of reprieve. But was there ever a time that you were worried about this season?
I guess kind of. I'm a half glass full guy, so I'm pretty positive about things. So, but we had a couple younger guys that got quarantined early in the year, and our school system did a great job with their protocols, and our nurse Carla Armstrong, our head nurse, and they did an outstanding job with the protocols and putting those in place and try to and basically staying consistent with it. So we kind of knew where we were and what, if something happened, where we stood and what needed to happen. So again, I give our kids credit, and our booster club, they purchased some of that disinfectant stuff. Our school system has donated a lot of stuff. I know we have an air purifier in our locker room that's it's got to help at some point. So I'm proud of the way our guys have come in and then kind of embraced the difference and kind of made it the norm now. And it's not really an issue as far as telling them to pull the mask up or making sure they're social distance or doing the small things that can keep us playing. And I'm proud of our coaching staff for fighting through that and not seeing it as an issue, but embracing it and making it something that's going to keep us going.
Exactly. Well, and it's like you said, I mean, it's a small price to pay to be able to play, because you know the pain. The seniors from last year know the pain of not being able to go back out on the field, and I still hurt for those guys because when they left, they had no idea they had played their last game of high school baseball. But like I said, it's whatever it takes to get them back out there. You guys, Coach, are having a great year right now. You're 13-4 on the season overall, 3-0 in the region. You guys actually started off with one of the the tougher teams, one of the teams that a lot of people had as marked as a favorite or a contender in this region, and that was Coffee County, and you guys were able to sweep them this past week. Talk a little bit about that series and what your guys were able to do to get all three victories.
Well, I think the key to that series, our coaching staff, and I'm a small part. I have a great group of assistant coaches that have bought in, and if I'm not there, it don't stop moving, and it's headed in the same direction that I believe it needs to go, and those guys believe as well. And I think you can't put a price tag on that, as the unity of our coaching staff. And the one thing they did a great job of getting our guys ready to play. And, coming in that week, we knew going into region play that especially in a 3-game set, anything can happen. And, we wanted to set the tone. But I think the one big thing of that series, our starting pitching was incredible. I think, we were only had to use one relief guy the entire 3-game set, and he actually closed game 1 and then that game 2 with only 14 pitches, and the rest of it was starting pitching. So I think and those were 3 seniors: Ray Townsend, Tyler Dennison, and Zach Thomas. And I think that if we can get that consistent starting pitching and swing the bats like we've done, it's going to be fun to watch. I've said this week, I could be the worst thing that can happen if I try to get in their way. So we kind of sit back and let them play. It's fun to coach when guys are have bought in and you're starting to see the results of all their hard work. And it's exciting time to be a Wayne County Yellow Jacket baseball fan right now.
Yeah, you guys have got a great team this year. Now, one of the things I did notice, Coach, you guys changed the game. I think were y'all scheduled to play Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and you changed them games. What was the impact there?
Well, I guess Tuesday we kind of looked at that weather forecast. Me and Coach Jones at Coffee, and there was a substantial amount of chance of rain on Friday, and he had a prom issue on Saturday, so he wasn't going to be able to possibly play that game on. I know he wasn't going to be able to play that game on Saturday, and then I knew he had veterans the next week and he couldn't play on Monday. So, I didn't really feel good about it, but it was probably the only option. And, there was only a small window of time to make that decision. We were over at Coffee Tuesday, so we were going to try to make it that night to make sure on Wednesday that we could get the logistics of moving that Thursday game to our place on Wednesday. But, of course, once you do it, the rain chances actually diminished. And but if you did possibly got rained out. But, our kids fought through it. I think it kind of played in our favor. We got a deep staff, and we had some guys that, after that Thursday game, we had the bullpens going double, 2 guys in the bullpen getting work in that they didn't get during the week. So, that's the tough part when you get great starting pitching. You got to find ways to get guys quality in as against live hitters. And, we got to be unique as a coaching staff and try to figure that out so those guys can keep getting competitive reps.
Yeah. Well, Coach, one of the things that this region decided to do is what we're going to call the 2 northern teams, which is Warner Roberts and Veterans, is play a single game at home and then a doubleheader on the road, and then vice versa when you play those 2 teams. Was that something that you were involved in, or was that just something that you guys agreed upon as a region? Talk a little bit about that and how you think it's going to affect the games.
Well, we had a region meeting. I wasn't a fan of the 3-game set. I guess right when we got in the region with Statesboro and South Effingham and that group. But, once you get into it, it really prepares you for the playoffs and allows you to see how you match up as far as, not always the best team will win one game, but you can pretty put a high percentage of the best team winning a 3-game series and based on the depth and the program that they have. But, I think travel played a big issue in those doubleheaders, and I can understand that from a standpoint of an academic side. We're fortunate here to have all our kids in 4th block weight training. So at 1:30, they're done with their academic classes and they're in the weight room with us at 1:30. And then, obviously we make that transition to baseball practice after that. But, the doubleheaders, they can be tricky. Whether you're starting a position player in game 2 or a pitcher only, and there's probably some strategy that has to go, because playing 7 innings at shortstop or 7 innings in the field as the position player and then turn around and have a throw, it's going to have an impact. So I guess you got to make sure you have your guys ready to play. And those doubleheader days can be a long day. Starting at 4 o'clock and then going all the way to 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I think we'll get that next week. We'll host veterans here in our second week of region play, and we'll go up there on Tuesday. Obviously, we're on spring break, so travel's not an issue that week. But we're looking forward to it, and I guess you have to embrace the doubleheaders and see what happens.
Yeah, it definitely is a different animal than what everybody in this region has been used to the last couple of years, for sure. But Coach, when I go back and I look over, your schedule, like I said, you're sitting there at 13-4 on the year. I noticed you guys played a lot of Atlanta schools, Parkview, Lovett, went up to, I guess, to Jefferson and played some games. Was that strategy, or was that part of a tournament, or how did those Atlanta schools get on your schedule?
We've been going to they call it the Georgia Peach Tournament. I guess Parkview and Loganville High School put it on. So we've been going since 18. So I guess fourth year of heading up there and playing. And I'm a firm believer in putting tough opponents in on that schedule. And that weekend, we started out that Friday night up there and we beat Lovett. They were a quality team, ranked. I think at that time they was ranked number 1 in Double A, and we played an excellent game against them that night, and then turned around on Saturday and gave up 19 innings and 2 innings of baseball against Jefferson and Parkview. So if you took those 2 innings away, who knows what could have happened that weekend. But I do think, and our kids understand that going through that kind of adversity up there in Atlanta against some quality opponents, and that was a huge impact on the series against Coffee. We talked about it. That there's going to be very few teams that you play in the regular season that are going to be as good or quality as some of those that we played up there, and especially a 7A team like Parkview. And if we can continue to get better each day and stay humble with it and compete at a high level, then who knows where this team can go.
Exactly. Well, not only that, Coach, once you get into the playoffs, you get deep into the playoffs and you get into a coin flip situation, you've already had that 4-hour bus ride. You know what it's like to travel those long distances, because inevitably at some point, if you make it deep enough, you're going to get your opportunity to go to Atlanta on a road trip.
Yeah. I think that's something that we kind of pride ourselves on, is having those trips. And I know we have some things that we want to be great at in our program, and playing on the road is one of them. And I think our kids, the game's the easy part, the preparation and the focus of a trip, with social media and things that goes on in these kids' lives, making sure they're focused for the game is our utmost priority. And I can assure you, on probably a few of those 4 losses this year, that was probably a main issue of lack of focus and lack of attention to small things. And if you don't have focus, you can't be attentive on those small things, and they matter here at Wayne County. And we preach that every day. And I think our kids have done an outstanding job after that weekend. Is coming back, and we lost to a tough Pierce County team down here this week or this year, and then turned around and played them at our place. And, there's some quality teams around this area. We talk, one of our goals of our objective, expectation, our program is win all our county battles and try to win this area and be the best team in this area. And, I think that speaks for itself. And, there's some great baseball that goes on in South Georgia. It's unfortunate that we're kind of isolated down here. And sometimes you guys do an outstanding job of getting them recognition and getting the players and the programs recognition down here, because sometimes not being in the Atlanta area, you kind of get pushed to the side. But we appreciate you guys, what you do for getting it out there and, giving kids notoriety. And there's some great baseball going on down here, and there's some great players in this area.
Exactly. Well, Coach, let's talk about some of your individual players and some of your senior leadership and some of the guys that are contributing, from the underclassmen ranks.
We got Zach Thomas, and, we have 9 seniors. I think that's something that when you have that many seniors and they all bring something to the table. I know 2 of those 9, Austin Burgess and Dawson Lastinger, they're pitcher only, and they're relief guys. So, the other ones are Zach Thomas. He's a 2-way guy. He's a starter he's been our game 3 guy, I guess the first week, and he starts third base. And then Ray Townsend, Tyler Dennison, they're also game 1, game 2 starter, and they both play first base and fill in a DH role. Ray plays a little outfield. You got Jack Perkins, he's an outfielder. Cody Eicher's an outfielder. Jacob Brewer, he's probably one that kind of flies on our radar. He's our catcher. He's been a 3-year starter at catcher. He started as a sophomore, and he has RBIs all over his gear because he saves an incredible amount of runs with his defense and his blocking ability. And our shortstop Blake Brockington, he's kind of been just a steady guy that kind of just shows up every day and makes the routine play and does an outstanding job in the lineup of being able to control the bat. And that senior class is kind of you kind of build off that, and you kind of watch our guys, younger guys, kind of join in. Early in the year, this group was kind of not sure where they were headed as a chemistry point, but right now they have a great mix of underclassmen, upperclassmen, and they're getting along real well. And it's fun to come to practice every day when that's the energy you get every day is understanding what they're here for, is whether it's an hour and a half or we've kind of focused on if you go in more than 2 hours, that means I'm unorganized as a coach. So, but we try to get in here and get our work done and get out and let them be a high school kid too. I think that's important for our guys to be able to be a high school kid and it's not be such a grind for them. Exactly. But underclassmen, Luke Boykin, he's our leadoff hitter, center fielder. He's been phenomenal as a leadoff guy. At one time I think he's got 8 home runs right now, and I hope he continues that. Scout reports get around, and I think he's smart enough to figure that out, and he's a great player. Brad Arati, the left-handed pitcher, and Asher Cathy, right-hander. They've been Brad started some games, Asher started a few games, and those are two guys that, along with those seniors, that have done pitched the majority of the innings on in our game season so far. Those guys are continue to get better, and we got a big freshman class. There's some sophomores that are pitching in. We got some freshmen that are pitching in as base runner, courtesy runner type guys that can run a little bit. So it's been a great group to kind of, it takes time to kind of figure it out. And I think right now we got it kind of figured out of the roles, and the kids are buying into their roles, and when they buy into the role, whether it's pinch running or being a defense replacement or keeping game changer or going to get a foul ball, and they buy into it and they understand that role is just as important as the guy starting on the mound, then you got a special group, and that's where we are right now.
Exactly. Well, Coach, a lot of those names that you said are repeat names. I've been doing this for 10 years. The Boykins, it seems like you've always got a Boykin on there. You always got a Townsend on there. It turns into a family business, high school baseball there in Wayne County.
Yeah, I've been here, I guess, 13. Hold on, the phone fell down right there. 13. My 10th year as the head coach, and there's always been a Townsend wearing number 20. So hopefully, I know this is the last one right now, and he's doing an outstanding job of carrying on that tradition of wearing the number 20. So, and the Boykin, there's been Boykins come through here, there's another one in middle school right now. So that'll continue. But, again, this is a great community where as our jobs as coaches, I talk about Wayne County, and we don't really have to teach our kids how to win. They grow up in a great rec department and playing in a good rec department, playing all-stars and winning the championships and things of that nature. So they grow up knowing how to win, and, we just try to tweak what they're doing and make them a better man and make them a better baseball player all in the same 4 years.
Well, Coach, sounds like you guys have really come together from a chemistry standpoint. You got things rolling. I was able to sweep coffee in your first region contest, non-region games this week against Glenn, one at home, one on the road. Then you jump right back into region. So we'll follow along with you throughout the rest of the season. We appreciate you coming on 912 Sports here tonight and sharing some information about the Wayne County Yellow Jackets. And I look forward to following you guys as we get through region play and into the playoffs.
Well, I appreciate it. I guess baseball is a game where you can be on the top of the ladder and then the very next game be down. So I guess we're trying to stay humble with it and keep our kids focused on the day-to-day objective and the expectations of what we want to do here at Wayne County. And, you talked about the playoffs earlier. I'm looking forward. We ain't had a playoff game in almost 2 years now, so not having them last year. So, not to say, anything can happen, we're not being the playoffs. We understand that too. But, again, we want to continue to work so we can have that opportunity for our community. Our communities have been through a lot too. And, high school baseball in a small town like Jessup can give people something to get excited for and everybody come together for one common reason. And, we talk about that as a program too. What we do on the field may dictate how somebody feels when they go to work next day. That's how proud and how important this is to the people of this community. And, that's why I wouldn't want to coach anywhere else that wouldn't be this way. And, this is, as I said, a great place to coach with great kids and that support athletics all the way around.
All right, Coach. Well, y'all keep after it. We'll talk to you later on in the season. Until then, go Jackets.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. All
righty. Thanks, buddy. That's Coach Justin McDonald, head coach of the Wayne County Yellow Jackets, as they swept coffee in their first 3 region games this past week. They're on a non-region schedule this week where they'll be playing Glenn at home and away, and then next week get right back into region play. But appreciate everybody watching Thursday nights with 912 Sports on a Monday, and we'll be right back here after these messages.